Hello and Merry Christmas! Thank you for joining us once again. It's like our fourth of the annual tradition that we always do. We do a Christmas episode. Hope you're having a jolly holly Christmas. We don't have holly here, but you know, we just say the words and having a wonderful time with your family, with your friends. You've eaten your fufu or your party jollof, your Malta Guineas, your gotten some Danish butter cookies in there, all that good stuff. And sure.
Let's just Okay, so in some feel-good news, an 11-year-old boy gets to celebrate Christmas properly this year. And now imagine that for the first 11 years of your life, you can't really celebrate Christmas, and you actually get to do that. You get to partake in all the eating and all the overindulgence that we do. And this is becoming true for a little boy called Henry, not little boy, but a boy called Henry Hayne. And he was born with a condition called posterior urethral valves, and it usually affects males and occurs in early stages of development. And an obstructive membrane develops in the urethra, and that leads to kidney damage.
I see.
Now, this young chap has had his kidney removed.
Wow.
He has to be tube fed. Some things he can eat with the mouth, but then also he doesn't have appetite. Just a whole lot of issues that he's had to deal with. And luckily, his dad, Godfrey, has been able to donate a kidney to him.
Aww.
And so his kidney functions are up to about 72%. And the family has had immense support from a group called Rainbow Trust. It's a UK organization which helps families with members who have serious conditions. And I'm not sure that organizations like this exist in Ghana, but this is just
the way the GoFundMe's pop up every time people. I'm guessing not really. Not really.
Yeah. So basically, it's just a boy getting to experience Christmas for the first time. I just imagine how sad it must be.
I know.
People gather around the table and you can't really
even eat.
Yeah, so I thought this is just a really nice feel-good story for Christmas.
Yeah,
really nice. And that's it from a short one.
Yes.
Yeah.
We won't ramble on today.
No.
Okay, so I have some interesting and amusing news, and it's about the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree. So for those who may not know, Trafalgar Square is a very popular landmark in the UK. It's also, is it a train station? I don't know, let me not say, but it's a square, right? Named after something or other Trafalgar. There's a guy there. That's all I know. A statue of some man there. Anyway, so since 1947, the country of Norway has donated a homegrown Christmas tree to the city of London, where it features as the centerpiece at Trafalgar Square's Christmas decoration. And this annual tradition symbolizes Oslo, specifically, or in Norway's recognition and appreciation of Britain's help during the Second World War. So that's really cool. I didn't know that they had this symbol of friendship that they've done every single year since the war. And then there's a ceremony that takes place in November every year in Oslo, Norway, where, they select the tree, fell it, and then have it shipped out to the UK in time to set up for decor. Okay, wonderful, right? Well, this year, Londoners were rather shocked and alarmed when the Trafalgar Square tree went up. Because let's just say the tree was looking a little malnourished, right? So, the tree looked like it had kwashiorkor, basically. So, of course, being the Twitterverse in which we now all exist, some of the comments were rather humorous, and so I just want to go through a few of them. So somebody was like, where is the rest of the tree? And then somebody else said, is this revenge for leaving the EU?
Oh, my God.
And then quite a few people were like, are we at war with Norway? What did you do to Norway? Because why? What is this tree, right? And then somebody was like, oh, it's good to see that even the tree is taking COVID seriously and the branches are social distancing from each other. And then for those of you who are football fans, you'll get this reference. Somebody said that Norway has not responded well to the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he was the manager of Manchester United, and they recently got rid of him. And he's Norwegian. So people are like, the people of Norway expressing their displeasure. And then even the people that were trying to be nice about it, where somebody was like, stop body shaming the tree. And then finally someone was like, listen, it's not about the tree, it's about the symbol. Please don't be rude. Let's just be polite and, accept that it's not about how the tree looks and there'll always be next year, blah, blah, blah. So anyway.
That's a nice one.
That's my story.
Okay. So I've got 2 Christmas songs for you in Songs of the Week. And the first one is a pretty popular song, I'd say. It's Driving Home for Christmas from Freyr. Do you know it? No?
Mm-mm.
I'm sure if you listen,
Really?
I'm sure you do. Yeah, so Christopher Freyr is a blues and rock singer from Middlesbrough. Was born in 1951 and is known for his distinctive husky singing. He has about 25 albums to his name. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and other health issues. He's really gone through a lot when it comes to his health. And the story behind this song is that he needed to get to Middlesbrough from Abbey Road Studios in London, and so his wife had to drive him down all the way. And while they got stuck in traffic, he started to sing while we're driving home for Christmas, and it actually became a song.
That's cute.
Yes, and this song was originally made for Van Morrison, but I guess he ended up saying that, you know what, I like this song, so I'm going to sing it myself. I'm pretty sure you know it. Driving home for Christmas.
I don't know. I'll listen later.
Yeah, I'm sure you know it, yeah. So that's the first one, Driving Home for Christmas from Freyr. He also has a popular song called Josephine. You might know that. I'm sure you do. I'm pretty sure you do, yeah. So that's Driving Home for Christmas from Freyr. And the second song is from Norah Jones, and it's I Dream of Christmas. She has a new Christmas album out. And Norah Jones is an American singer. Her first album, Come Away With Me, was very, very popular.
Yes, and she got a whole, I think she won Best New Artist at the Grammy that year. I think so.
And she's had about 6 successful albums since then.
Say that fast 7 times. 6 successful.
And what I didn't know, or maybe what I did know and have forgotten, is that her father is Ravi Shankar. Yeah, a popular Indian sitarist. And he at some point in his life actually headlined with George Harrison from the Beatles. And I Dream of Christmas is her 8th studio album. And the title of the album is the same. It's also called I Dream of Christmas. And it's a really lovely upbeat tune. Once you've had your chicken, you rice, whatever, you can, do your little bop to it. Beautiful, beautiful song. You should check that out as well. So that is I Dream of Christmas from Norah Jones. So those are the 2 songs, Freyr and Driving Home for Christmas, and Norah Jones with I Dream of Christmas.
Lovely. Okay, so I have 3 songs, and I tried to pick like a different variety of Christmas songs. So the first one is called Something Magical, and it's by Dadi Freyr. I had to practice that. So Dadi Freyr is 29 years old. He's a singer and songwriter, and he's from Iceland, although he lives in Germany. And he rose to fame with his band after his song Think About Things was chosen as Iceland's submission to the 2020 Eurovision Song Contest. Now, by the way, if you haven't watched the movie Eurovision, is it called Eurovision Song?
But was it just a good film?
With Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. Please watch it this Christmas because it's like a wonderful family movie. It's so hilarious. If you've watched the Eurovision Song Contest period, like you think it's an SNL skit, like it almost shouldn't exist. It's the most camp, ridiculous thing you've ever seen, but it's so engaging and so entertaining. So anyway, their song was a 2020 submission. Now, because of COVID, the event actually got canceled, but most people, it's like just basically the foregone conclusion that his song would have won because it's really good. So they became popular off of that. And then he submitted a different song for the 2021 version, and they placed 4th, but that song wasn't as good if you ask me, but they still did well. And that's how they gained major popularity. So Dadi, he's from Reykjavik, which is the capital of Iceland, and he spent some time in his youth in Denmark. He learned to play drums, piano, and guitar. He has a degree in music management and audio production from Germany, and his band, oh Lord, I'm not going to try this name, Dadi and Ganyamadid, something like that, comprises his sister, his wife, and 3 of their close friends. And they have one album and 2 EPs out. And yes, Something Magical came out this year. It's just a Lucy for the Christmas season, and it's very tongue-in-cheek. Their music tends to be slightly comedic, and it's super, super, super cute. And also, he's 6'9". He's a giant for no reason, but likes dancing. So it's quite. And the song is very upbeat, very cheerful, very funny. So yeah, that's the first song, Something Magical by Dadi, Freyr. My second song is called Joy to the World. You all know it. But this version is by Jehovah Shalom a cappella. So Jehovah Shalom are a 6-member male a cappella group from Uganda, and they are all Seventh-day Adventists. So all their music is Christian, faith-based and stuff. And my mom will be extra happy to hear that because she's Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, my grandma is staunch Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah, I'm the rebel, you see. So. So the genesis of the group dates back to 2006, where the 4 original members formed in high school. And then later they added 2 more members. And then in 2009, they started performing at church camps, weddings, festivals, and other gigs. And they eventually got the opportunity to open for Yvonne Shaka Shaka. And thanks to social media and YouTube, they've continued to gain popularity. So, they just make really beautiful a cappella renditions of a lot of popular songs. And yeah, that's my second song, Joy to the World by Jehovah Shalom a cappella. Okay, and my last song is I love soul Christmas songs.
Yes,
I really do. So this is obviously one of my favorite songs of all time. It's Merry Christmas Baby by Otis Redding.
Otis
Yes.
Redding.
So Otis Redding should need no introduction, but he's one of the, greatest singers of all time.
Yes.
Definitely a legend of soul. And he did that all in the very short time that he was singing, because his life was cut tragically short at the age of 26 when he died in a plane crash in 1967. So he's best known for his posthumous single, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, which was actually the first posthumous single to go #1, because it came out shortly after he died. And it stayed #1 for weeks in both the US and UK. But he has, again, such a wonderful body of work. You have Try a Little Tenderness, These Arms of Mine, I've Been Loving You Too Long, and Respect. Yes, the one Aretha is known for. He did it first. So yeah, so Otis was born in Georgia. He quit school at 15 because he needed to help out his family financially. He ended up in Little Richard's backing band. Now, if you know Little Richard, he's one of the icons of rock and roll as well. And then he ended up signing a deal, and he released his first single, which was These Arms of Mine, in 1962. Now, Merry Christmas Baby itself was originally written and performed by the Johnny Moore and the Three Blazes Band in 1947. And of course, there have been, many standards, so many people that have sang versions of it, from Chuck Berry to Elvis. And Otis' version came out in 1967. So those are my 3 songs: Something Magical by Dadi Freyr, Joy to the World by Jehovah Shalom a cappella, and Merry Christmas Baby by Otis Redding.
And with that, we're on to What the F. And in some truly What the F worthy Christmas news, and by no means in line with the spirit of the season, a mom is being called mean or unreasonable because she doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. Now, what did she do, or what didn't she do? So this woman just had a baby, a premature baby, who was in the ICU. And obviously, the last thing on her mind is to be decorating for anything. She also has a 4-year-old, and so her parents and her partner's parents have said she's mean because she doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. Now, the woman posted this on one of these many mummy forums, just trying to get an opinion on what she should be doing. And of course, you've got different sides. People are saying, she should just do a little something, maybe get a small tree. Others were saying, no, her priority right now should be getting better and trying to make sure that her baby is okay. And in all of this, I'm just wondering, okay, this mom is going through so much. Where's the partner? There was no mention of the fact that,
why can't he decorate? Why can't the parents? It means so much to them.
So why can't the grandparents, at least with the permission of them, why can't they do that?
Since it's so deep for them. Yeah, you see.
And she's the one in the situation. Maybe there was something said about that, but I did not see that in the article anywhere. And I was just wondering, this is a bit weird. if you really wanted to do, especially with the fact that her partner's parents were also putting their input in, right? Like,
so
okay,
you do
so
it
you do
then.
it.
You and your son get together, and that would be a wonderful thing to do for her, even for Christmas.
Yeah.
Somebody who just had a premature baby, she's traumatized, the baby's
He's
traumatized, she's
traumatized.
exhausted, and whatever. If you care so much about the 4-year-old grandchild or whatever, then they do something small. No, you do it. Then. You do it.
I mean, it's been the last 2 years have been tough. Let's be easy on people with certain things. You know what? Let the mom rest. Let her do what she has to do. Christmas
And
is
she's not
coming
even
in next
resting.
year.
That's the whole point. She's not resting.
Come on.
She's
And
dealing with.
So I felt that a bit like unfair.
It is.
To be fair.
It is.
Like,
And anyone who says otherwise.
So that's my what the F.
Thank you. Okay, so in my what the F, Florida man strikes again.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Florida man takes no days off, even for Christmas. So if you don't know who Florida man is, there is no actual Florida man, but it just seems that anytime you see Florida man, whatever article that follows is the most bizarre, nonsensical, crazy-ish ever. And yeah, so now Florida man is like this internet fable, and he's out here doing the most, and he continues to do the most. So in this case, Florida man is actually two people. So Tara Scott and Gerard Dupree arrived at a Walmart with an ingenious plan to get some free Christmas presents for their kids. So they loaded a Barbie car, a Barbie house, and a tablet worth $370 in a cart and headed towards the exit. So then, as planned, Gerard fell to the floor, pretending to have had a heart attack and causing a diversion, whilst Taris could quickly wheel the cart outside, right, without anyone noticing. So then, as planned, Gerard fell to the ground, pretending to have a heart attack to create a diversion, whilst Taris quickly wheeled the cart out the front door without paying for the items. And so after a few minutes, in what can only be described as a Christmas miracle, Gerard's heart attack went away.
Miracle. It's a miracle.
And it happened to coincide with the time that somebody was calling the ambulance/police. He's like, actually, I feel fine. And then quickly walked out the door, they said he was still holding his chest, like, yes, that's how hard it is. You're just like, no, I just have a bit of chest soreness left. No. And then he went to liaise with his partner in the parking lot. They got in the car and sped off. So to them, mission accomplished. The kids get the Barbies, what. However, being America, there were cameras everywhere. So the cameras picked up that they came together. The cameras picked them up in the aisle, choosing the items together, obviously hatching their plan in the aisle. And then when the one fell down, the camera saw the other guy tiptoeing out the door. And so now both of them are facing grand larceny charges. So I'm just like, was it worth it?
Yeah,
you're going to probably spend your Christmas in prison, and you're going to pay more than the cost of those items in the first place. So just Florida man, get it together.
Just not worth it. Just not worth it. Okay, and with that, we're on to two Pesewas. And in my two Pesewas today, we're talking about Christmas traditions around the world.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one is from Ukraine. And about 49% of Ukraine's population are Orthodox Christians, and they observe Christmas Day on January 7th. So they have a tradition where they walk through the town singing Christmas carols, and some families throw something called kuchia, which is a dish made from cooked wheat, honey, poppy seeds, and nuts. And they throw these at the ceiling, and it said that if it sticks, then there'll be a good harvest in the new year. Yeah.
Messy, but interesting.
Yeah. The second one is Japan. You've probably heard about this. In Japan, Christmas isn't really a national holiday, but many people celebrate it by going to KFC. And this tradition began in 1974 after the Kurisumasu Niwa Kentucky campaign. And this has become popular over the years, and so popular that people sort of order months in advance.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's actually a thing. So the next one is the Philippines. And in the Philippines, on the Saturday before Christmas Eve, a giant lantern festival is held in San Fernando, and 11 villages take part in this festival. And of course, everyone displays their most beautiful lanterns, which are made from different materials, and they can get up to about 6 meters in size, and they are lit by electric bulbs. And I saw some photos from them, and they're actually really, really beautiful.
I'm going to look that
very,
up.
very, very nice. The next one is Iceland, which Pete just talked about Iceland in a few, in what was it, Walter F? Or what
No, Songs of
the Week, yeah. And there's something called the Yule Lads, and these are 13 troll-like characters. And in the 13 days leading up to Christmas, these Yule Lads visit children across the country.
Which country is this?
Iceland.
Oh, you said already.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
So the children place their shoes outside near a window, and a different Yule Lad leaves a different gift each night. And if you've not been a good child for Christmas, you get a rotten potato. And these mischievous lads have like really weird names. Some are called the spoon licker, the bowl licker, the window peeper, the candle sticker, the pot scraper, and all sorts of things. And the next one is Norway. And in a tradition that dates back centuries, Norwegians believe that on Christmas Eve, witches and evil spirits came out, and they were looking for brooms to ride on. So what they do is make sure that they keep their brooms away so that the witches don't have anything to ride on. Yeah. And the next one is Venezuela. And every Christmas Eve, the city of Caracas, the residents go to church. Now they go to church on roller skates, so that the roads are actually closed, so that the people are safe, have a safe pathway to skate safely to the church. And then they come back from the church and have a meal of tamales or whatever. I know, it's so fascinating. Like, I just love it. It's so fascinating. And the last one is Mexico. And on the 23rd of December, it's Noche de Rabanos, which is the
night
of radishes.
Radish, okay.
Yes. And on this night, thousands of artists carve elaborate scenes from the Bible and other things on oversized radishes. So the city where it comes from, I don't know the pronunciation, Oaxaca, Oaxaca.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think.
Yeah, has had a long tradition of wood carving, and I guess when the radishes were introduced by the Spanish people, soon after, farmers began carving radishes to attract customers to their markets. So it actually became a thing. So you have these images of huge radishes carved, but of course, because they don't last that long, after a while they just get rid of them. And so that's basically it. Like traditions from around the world. When I was younger, they'd come kill a goat, and then in my culture, at least in my part of where I come from, there's this really horrible stew that they made from goat's blood.
Oh my goodness!
I used to hate it. They make it from that, and you eat it with yaka yaka.
What's yaka yaka?
It's made from cassava. You bake it and then sort of steam it. It's white. It looks like a bolo, but not really.
I see.
And that was like sort of the tradition. Luckily for us, none of us really liked it apart from my dad, so we stopped eating it. It's so I know some people might like it, but yeah, so that was
like an acquired taste for sure.
No, absolutely. And yeah, so those are my Christmas traditions around the world.
So I just wanted to say, I always find it fascinating how you can trace like things across cultures. Like the carving of the radishes reminds me of like pumpkin carving at Halloween, right? And I went to Dutch school when I was younger. Like, I've been everywhere. And some of the traditions that they do in Iceland and Norway are similar, where there, what became like, what do they call those things? A Christmas stocking?
Oh, the stock is where you fill.
Yes, but they have shoes. You leave your shoes outside the door, and they put candy in the shoes if you've been good. And if you've been bad, I don't remember what it was. But of course, in the States, it's a lump of coal. Can't remember what it was in the Dutch tradition. But it's so interesting to like, okay, some of these people are the same people. They just diverted along the way. So if you go far back enough, the traditions become very similar.
Yeah.
Even the Russians throwing the stuff, like they do pekle here, like you steam the thing and throw it. Like, so the concept of throwing food to celebrate means it's like something that has gone down the line. Yeah, I find those things so fascinating.
It is fascinating. So that's me.
Yes. Okay. So my two Pesewas is quite simple, but I thought it would be quite appropriate, and it is 5 ways to spread Christmas cheer in a pandemic.
Ooh, yay.
Yes. So there are some people who already hate Christmas. I was one of those people for a very long time. I found Christmas extremely depressing. I don't know why. I always found Christmas time depressing. And I couldn't stand, like, Christmas carols is like stabbing me in the head. It's like you hear the same, it's like you're being tortured, right? Like, and I think for a lot of people, if I try to self-diagnose, is that the idea that all the messaging suggests you're supposed to be at your happiest, right? Like, oh my God, it's the best time ever. You're probably stressed out, spending too much money because everyone's like, okay, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this.
Cooking up a storm.
So you're tired. You're spending so much money, traffic, stress, whatever. Maybe you're not even with your family, or you've fallen out with family, or things like that. So Christmas season accentuates all the things that aren't ideal, right? Yeah. It highlights them. So I think for a lot of people, and then as they say, suicides spike at Christmas time, and there's a reason for all that stuff. So, and now of course we're in the middle of a pandemic. Even if your life was perfect, the pandemic is testing everybody's resolve. Of course, now we have the Omarion going around. And, you know, the fear mongering and the whatever, like anytime, dun dun dun, how many people have Omicron spotted here and there. So it is all that to say, it's a rough time to trying to celebrate Christmas. And so I thought this would be something that we could all use and take from and try and apply it as we go through the holiday season. Okay. So this is according to psychotherapist and author of 10 Times Happier. His name is Owen Kane. And yeah, here are the 5 things. Number 1, accept that it is what it is, right? And that's a very simple but difficult thing to do, right? So he said, trying to enjoy Christmas with a pandemic, when you're anxious, you have sick loved ones, possibly there's a looming recession, you know, supply chain issues in the UK where half the things aren't even on the shelves, whatnot. It's hard, but you cannot fixate on what should be, because all it does is increase your stress, makes you depressed, give you anxiety. The first thing you have to do is accept what is. Accept the reality you're in, live in the moment, and take it one step at a time. And then he said one of the important things to do, and this is something I talked about in my dealing with depression, be grateful and mindful for what you do have, right? You have your life, you have your health, you have food, even if it's not the kind of food you hoped to eat. You have a roof over your head, the simple things. You have your family. You can be grateful that maybe you didn't have any serious deaths in your family, any serious illnesses. It's the little things that you take for granted that you have to be mindful and grateful for. And that will sort of uplift you and help you carry on. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, connect to people who bring you joy however you can. Right. So even if you can't be with your loved ones physically, call them. Zoom them, write them a letter even. We don't do that anymore. Do it, you know. Make the effort to connect with the people that you know will lift your spirit, especially if you're feeling down. Yeah. And if you're stuck with people who overwhelm you, because that's the other thing these days, child. People are stuck with, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize I actually hate you. That is a thing that's happening. You know, so if you can't stand them for the moment or whatever, take a break. Go take a walk. That's still free. We're still able to do that. Put your mask on if you need to. Find a park, go walk there, read a book in a quiet spot, something. Recalibrate and come back, right? Third one, break from tradition. So, of course, Christmas is all about the ritual and tradition. We were just talking about that, right? Now, again, it's one of those things where you build yourself up to a point where if you cannot do the things that are markers of Christmas, then you're like, oh, but then it means we're not celebrating Christmas, right? And he's like, don't do that. Break from tradition if need be. Create new traditions. If you always make a turkey, blah, 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 and you can't afford a turkey, try a new recipe. Say, hey, let's try something new for Christmas or whatever. You know, maybe your Boxing Day tradition, you go visiting, blah, blah, blah. You can't because of the pandemic. Come up with something else, something that would be fun that you can do at home. You know, again, maybe do your Boxing Day visiting via Zoom, whatever it is, right? So he said, instead of dwelling on how you've done it in the past, which maybe is not feasible, try something new, even if it's to mix up your traditional Christmas dinner. Okay. Number 4, deck the halls. And we just talked about this and not being able to, but light and color are proven to improve mood. You know, you've heard of light therapy. You may have heard of light therapy. There's color therapy too. And even though if you assess like fast food places, they'll tell you there's a reason why the McDonald's colors are yellow and red, because they encourage you to eat. They stimulate your mind and you tend to eat more rather than if it's like a serene, muted aqua blue or something that will calm you down and be like, I'm not even hungry now. See, so light and color therapy are real things. And so he said, even if it's just you alone, nobody else, do it for yourself. Get some lights, get a baby Christmas tree or one of these tabletop things, and get some sparkle. And that alone can lift your mood this holidays. And remind yourself that you can create light in the dark moments, which I thought was sweet. And finally, embrace hope. I'm always the one that says it's hope that kills you, but no, like, don't listen to me, okay? Allowing yourself to be positive and hopeful will help you cope better, and it is contagious. So embrace it. Have a mantra for when you're feeling down, such as, when this is over, I'm going to go on vacation. When this is over, I'm going to go see this person, whether it's your grandmother or your, uncle or your mom or whatever. And when you're feeling extra down, just remind yourself, this will not last forever. You will make it through it. The good days will be here again. So that's it.
That was a lovely way to end the episode. So we wish you a Merry Christmas. Enjoy yourself.
Happy New Year in advance. Please be safe. Please wear your mask. Get your booster shot if you're so inclined. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but get your booster. Just mask up. Try and be safe. Be careful. Sanitize. Blah, blah, blah. Stay indoors. The club will always be there. Please. The Christmas party, they'll do one next year. You went last year, you went the year, but maybe you didn't go to but you've been to 10. If you skip one,
nothing will happen to you.
Nothing will happen. Stay in your house. Pick your bubble and move with them from house to house. 5 people, 6 people. It will be fine. Don't go and expose yourself to the Omarion talking about icebox where my heart used to be, please.
Oh my God.
And we'll see you next year.
Yes, we will.
Okay,
bye.